The small blue ship named Earthrise moved slowly through space. Inside, Commander Frank Murphy checked his uniform one more time. This was a big day for all humans. Today, they would meet aliens for the first time. "Are you nervous?" asked Olivia Diaz, standing nearby. As the ship's cultural liaison officer, it was her job to help humans and aliens understand each other. "A little," Frank admitted. "We trained for years, but nothing really prepares you for meeting beings from another world." The view screen showed their destination ahead. It was a huge ship, at least 10 times bigger than Earthrise. It had strange curves and glowed with soft purple light. This was the main ship of the Galactic Confederation, a group of 17 different alien species who traveled space together. "It's beautiful," Olivia whispered. Captain Steve Rogers spoke from his chair. "Remember, everyone, we represent all of Earth today. Let's make a good first impression." The Earthrise docked with the alien ship with a gentle bump. Frank felt his heart beating fast as the airlock opened. The first aliens he saw looked like tall birds. They had feathers in bright colors, long necks, and sharp eyes. Their leader stepped forward. "I am High Ambassador Kazil of the Kazril, speaking for the Galactic Confederation," the bird alien said through a translator. "We welcome humans to the greater community of space." Frank stepped forward as planned. "I am Commander Frank Murphy of Earth. We are honored to meet you and hope for friendship between our worlds." The aliens stayed back, keeping more distance than Frank expected. He noticed their eyes watching every move the humans made. Were they afraid? Curious? It was hard to tell. The aliens led them to a large room with a round table. Frank noticed the chairs for the aliens were all on one side, leaving a big space between them and where the humans would sit. "Please, tell us about Earth," Ambassador Kazil said. His feathers ruffled slightly when he spoke. Olivia started the presentation they had prepared. She showed pictures of Earth's cities, farms, and natural places. When she showed animals, the aliens leaned forward with great interest. "And these creatures live alongside your people?" asked a small green alien with big eyes. "Some do. We keep some as pets, like dogs and cats. Others live in the wild," Olivia explained. The aliens exchanged looks that Frank couldn't understand. Later, they showed the Earth food they had brought as gifts. Frank pulled out a knife to cut some fruit to share. The knife slipped, and he cut his finger. "Ouch," he said quietly, looking at the small cut with a drop of blood. The room went completely silent. Every alien was staring at him with what looked like horror. Some moved back from the table. One made a sound like a high whistle. "I'm sorry," Frank said, confused by their reaction. "It's just a small cut." Ambassador Kazil's feathers were now flat against his body. You bleed red," he said. "Yes, all humans do," Olivia said, equally confused. "And the injury? It causes you only minor distress." Frank nodded. "It's nothing. It will heal by tomorrow." This seemed to upset the aliens even more. They whispered to each other in their own languages. The meeting ended earlier than planned. As the humans returned to their ship, Frank turned to Olivia. "That was strange, right? They acted like they were scared of us." Olivia looked worried. "Yes. Did you notice how they reacted when you cut yourself? It was like they saw something terrifying." "But why? We're smaller than most of them. What could they possibly fear?" Back on the alien ship, Ambassador Kazil called an urgent meeting. "The tests confirm it," he told the other alien leaders. "Humans are exactly what we feared. They evolved on a death world. They are apex predators." The room filled with worried sounds. "What do we do?" asked a jellyfish-like alien floating in a special tank. "We must be careful," Kazil said. "Very, very careful." The large round room on Nexus space station was silent as Ambassador Kazil entered. 12 alien leaders sat around a table, each from a different species. They made up the Galactic Security Council, the most powerful group in the Confederation. "Let us begin," said Merlot, a cat-like alien with 6 eyes who led the council. Ambassador Kizil, tell us about these humans. Kizil touched a button, and a 3D image of Earth appeared above the table. Our scans of their planet show that humans evolved in conditions most of us would find impossible to survive. The image changed to show Earth's weather systems. Their planet has storms that would kill most of our people. Parts of it are covered in ice, while others are burning hot deserts. Several council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Their gravity is 1.2 times our standard. They live with dangerous radiation from their sun. And most concerning, Kizil paused, they evolved alongside creatures like these. The image changed to show lions, bears, sharks, and other Earth predators. Some council members made sounds of fear or surprise. Yet humans survived. In fact, they became the dominant species. Do you know why? Kizil asked. No one answered. Because humans are predators themselves. Kizil showed images of early humans hunting. They can run for hours without stopping. They track prey over long distances. They use tools to kill from far away. Elira, a small blue alien who looked like a mix between a frog and a butterfly, spoke up. Surely they have moved past this behavior. They have technology now. That is what makes them more dangerous, Kizil said. Look at their teeth. The image showed a human skull with canine teeth. They still have the teeth of meat-eaters. And their eyes, Kizil continued, face forward like all hunters, not to the sides like most of us who evolved as prey. What about their biology? Asked Gorn, a rock-like alien with crystal growths on his head. Most disturbing of all, Kizil said, humans can eat almost anything. Foods that would poison us, they consume regularly. They drink poison for pleasure. They call it alcohol. They can lose large amounts of blood and survive. Kizil showed a video of Frank cutting his finger on the ship. Look how he barely reacts to an injury that exposes his blood. Their bones break and heal. They continue fighting even when hurt. And most shockingly, they sleep. Sleep? Asked a confused council member. Yes, they become unconscious and defenseless for hours every day, then wake fully alert. No species in the Confederation does this. It suggests they evolved with so few predators to fear that they could afford to be completely vulnerable for long periods. The room was quiet as everyone thought about this. Finally, Merlot spoke. What do you recommend? I propose we classify humans as apex predators and Earth as a death world. This would be the first sentient species to receive such classification. The council members looked at each other nervously. If we do this, said Elira, what happens next? Do we cut contact? No, Kizil said. That could be dangerous. Predators become most aggressive when cornered or threatened. I suggest we continue diplomatic relations, but with extreme caution. We must learn more about them. And should we tell them about this classification? Asked Gorn. Absolutely not, Kizil replied. They must never know how we see them or what we fear about them. It could give them too much power. Merlot nodded slowly. We will vote. All in favor of classifying humans as apex predators and restricting information about them across the Confederation. Every member raised a hand, tentacle, or limb. It is decided, Merlot said. May we never regret welcoming these predators among us. As the meeting ended, none of the council members noticed the small maintenance robot in the corner of the room. Its camera had recorded everything. The robot belonged to the ship cleaning crew, but its programming had been changed by someone else, someone who wanted this information. Samantha Kelly walked through the wide hallway of Nexus Station. As Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Confederation, she had arrived just 3 days ago. Already she felt something was not right. Have you noticed how they act around us? She asked Jake Winters, her security chief. Jake nodded. They keep their distance, at least 20 feet at all times. And our rooms, Samantha said. The furniture is so heavy. I tried to move a chair yesterday and could barely lift it. They entered the dining area. Like always, the aliens moved to give them space. No one sat at the tables near them. Today I'm going to get answers, Samantha said quietly. After breakfast, she went to her scheduled meeting with Representative Eulaxis of the Moor, an amphibian species with smooth blue skin and large eyes. Like all her meetings, this one happened across a large table in a room with separate air systems for each side. Ambassador Kelly, Eulaxis said, "Shall we discuss trade agreements?" Samantha put down her tablet. "Actually, I want to discuss something else. Why is everyone afraid of us?" Eulaxis blinked his large eyes rapidly. "I don't understand." "Yes, you do," Samantha said firmly. "Everyone keeps distance from us. Our quarters have reinforced furniture. Guards watch us constantly. What are you afraid we'll do?" Eulaxis was silent for a long moment. Then he sighed, a strange bubbling sound through his gill slits. "You are very direct. This is another thing that frightens many species here. Being direct is frightening. For prey animals, yes." Samantha felt confused. Prey animals. Eulaxis moved uncomfortably. "I should not be telling you this, but perhaps it is better you understand." He leaned forward slightly. Most species in the Confederation evolved as prey, not predators. Samantha thought about this. "You mean most aliens here evolved from animals that were hunted, not hunters?" "Correct. The Moor evolved from small water creatures that hid from larger hunters. The Kazril came from flock animals that used numbers for protection. Even the Drax, with their hard shells, evolved as defensive prey species. And humans. You?" Eulaxis paused. "You are different. Your forward-facing eyes, your teeth, your muscles, your behavior, all show you evolved as hunters, predators." Samantha was surprised. "That's why everyone is afraid. Because our ancestors were hunters." "Not just that," Eulaxis said. "Your planet is what we call a death world. The gravity, radiation, weather, diseases, most Confederation species would die quickly on Earth. Yet you not only survived these conditions, but you thrived. This makes you concerning." "We're not dangerous," Samantha protested. "Your security chief can break bones of most species here with just his hands," Eulaxis said. "You eat food that would poison us. You heal from injuries that would kill us. And most disturbing, you show individual decision-making. What's wrong with that?" "Prey species think as groups. We seek consensus, avoid conflict. Predators make individual choices, take risks, act alone." Eulaxis looked nervous. A species with predator instincts and prey intelligence for technology is unprecedented. Samantha sat back, taking in this information. "So the special treatment is because you are afraid of us." "The Council prefers cautious management," Eulaxis said. After the meeting, Samantha met with Jake in her quarters. "They think we're dangerous because we evolved from predators," she told him. "That's why they're keeping us at a distance." Jake frowned. "They're not wrong to be careful. We can be dangerous. But we're not here to hurt anyone," Samantha said. "We need to show them that." "They'll need time to learn that," Jake replied. "Trust doesn't happen overnight." Samantha nodded. "You're right. But I don't like how they're watching us, like they're waiting for us to do something violent." Neither of them noticed the small device hidden in the corner of the room, recording everything they said. In another part of the station, someone was listening. Someone who didn't want humans and aliens to trust each other at all. The alarms blared through the human section of Nexus Station. Red lights flashed in the hallways. Samantha Kelly ran out of her office, looking for Jake. "What's happening?" she shouted over the noise. Jake appeared around the corner, his face serious. "Someone attacked the air system. There's poison gas in the north section." A voice came over the speakers. "Attention all beings. This is a security alert. The human quarter has been compromised. All non-humans must evacuate immediately." Samantha looked at Jake with worry. Our people are in the north section. I know. Let's go. They ran through the corridors. Emergency doors were closing throughout the station to contain the gas. As they reached the north section, they saw the thick yellow smoke filling the hallway. Wait, a voice called behind them. It was Elaxis, the Moor representative. You cannot go in there. The gas is deadly. Our people are inside, Jake said. We have to help them. Your environment suits will not protect you for long, Elaxis warned. Samantha grabbed 2 emergency breathing masks from a wall panel. They were designed for aliens and looked too small for human faces. These will have to do, she said, handing one to Jake. Jake put on the mask. It won't seal properly. We'll still breathe some gas. We don't have a choice, Samantha replied. They entered the smoke-filled area. Elaxis watched them go, his large eyes wide with shock. Inside, the yellow gas was thick. They could barely see. The masks helped, but Samantha could still taste the bitter gas. Her eyes burned. There, Jake pointed to a shape on the floor. It was Carol Wilson, one of their science team members. She wasn't moving. Jake picked her up easily. Keep going. There should be more people ahead. They found 2 more humans and 1 alien maintenance worker. The alien was unconscious, its breathing very weak. I'll carry these 2, Jake said, lifting both the alien and another human over his shoulders. Despite their weight, he moved quickly. Samantha helped Carol walk. The gas was making them all dizzy and weak. As they reached a sealed door, Jake realized they needed to climb up to a higher level to escape. There was a ladder, but it would be hard to climb while carrying people. Give me the alien, Samantha said. You take Carol and climb first. Jake hesitated, then nodded. They switched, and he started climbing with Carol. Halfway up, part of the ladder broke. Jake fell nearly 15 feet, landing hard on his back. Samantha gasped, Jake. To her amazement, Jake got up, wincing in pain but still moving. I'm okay. Throw me the rope from the emergency kit. With the rope, they managed to get everyone up to the next level. By the time they reached the safe area, they were all coughing and struggling to breathe. Medical teams rushed to help them. Elaxis stood nearby, watching with other alien officials. Impossible, one alien whispered. They breathed the toxin for over 10 minutes. They should be dead. And the security human fell from a great height, then continued to function, another added. Elaxis stepped forward. Ambassador Kelly, your actions today were remarkable. Samantha, still catching her breath, looked up. We had to save our people. You risked your lives, Elaxis said. The gas is toxic to all known species. It's plenty toxic to us too, Jake said, getting treated for his injuries. We're just stubborn. Later, in the medical bay, Samantha learned the truth. A group called Purity of Evolution had attacked the station. They believed humans were too dangerous to join the Confederation. The security cameras recorded everything, Jake said, showing her a tablet. The whole Confederation has seen what we did today. Samantha watched the video of them rescuing people from the gas, of Jake falling and getting back up. Is that good or bad? Both, Jake said. Now they know exactly what we're capable of. Meanwhile, across the station, the Confederation Security Council was meeting an emergency session. The attack had changed everything. Humans had shown abilities that terrified some aliens and fascinated others. Dr. Elaine Cooper moved carefully through the quiet halls of the Confederation archives. It was late in the station's night cycle, and few aliens were around. This was exactly what she wanted. Are you sure about this? Whispered Peter Blackwood, her research assistant. He looked nervous. We need to know the truth, Elaine said. After the attack, I don't believe this is just about fear of predators. They reached a door marked with alien symbols. Using the access card they had borrowed from a friendly Vexeri librarian, they entered the restricted section of the archives. We have 1 hour before the security system resets, Elaine said. Look for anything about predator species or Earth-like planets. They searched through the alien data systems. Most Confederation records were open to all members, but some sections remained locked to humans. These were the sections Elaine wanted to see. After 20 minutes of searching, Peter called out softly, "Dr. Cooper, I found something." Elaine hurried over. On the screen was a file labeled Extinction Event 2879, the Ravix containment. "The Ravix?" she asked. "I've never heard of them." "No one has," Peter said. "According to this, they were a predator species contacted about 300 years ago. They lived on a high-gravity planet with extreme weather patterns." "Like Earth," Elaine said. Peter nodded. The Ravix were strong, fast healers and had forward-facing eyes. "Sound familiar?" "What happened to them?" Elaine asked, though she feared she knew the answer. Peter read more of the file. The Confederation classified them as too dangerous for integration. They were quarantined on their home planet. Quarantined? What does that mean? Peter's face grew pale as he continued reading. They introduced a virus to the Ravix population. It looked like a natural disease. It targeted their unique biology. Within 50 years, they were extinct. Elaine felt sick. The Confederation committed genocide. "It's worse," Peter said. "Look at this." He showed her another file labeled Protocol Shepherd's Watch. It detailed specific steps for handling predator species: identification, containment, study, and if necessary, elimination. "This protocol was created after the Ravix," Peter explained. "It's a step-by-step guide for how to deal with species like us." "We need to copy these files," Elaine said. "Ambassador Kelly needs to see this." As they worked to download the data, a new file caught Elaine's attention. Biological Vulnerability Analysis. Human Species. "They're already studying ways to kill us," she whispered. Suddenly, alarms began to sound. The lights in the archive turned red. "We've been detected," Peter said. "We need to leave now." They grabbed the data device and ran. As they turned a corner, they nearly collided with 2 casual security officers. "Humans," one said. "You are in a restricted area. Come with us." Elaine fought quickly. "We got lost," she said. "The maps on our tablets stopped working, and we were trying to find our way back to the human section." The casual looked skeptical. "The human section is 6 levels above this one." "Is it?" Peter asked, pretending to be confused. "No wonder we couldn't find it. We're still learning our way around the station." The casual guards looked at each other. "We will escort you back," one said. As they walked, Elaine carefully slipped the data device into her boot. When they reached the human section, the guards left them with a warning. "That was close," Peter said when they were alone. "Too close," Elaine agreed. "But we got what we needed." Later, in the privacy of her quarters, Elaine examined the files more carefully. What she found made her blood run cold. Protocol Shepherd's Watch wasn't just about containing dangerous species. It was already being implemented for humans. Phase 1 was complete. Identification. Phase 2 was underway. Containment. Phase 3 would be extensive study of human weaknesses. And Phase 4, if deemed necessary, the elimination of the human threat. She needed to get this information to Earth immediately. But she knew the Confederation monitored all communications. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the human exploration vessel, Horizon. His ship was small compared to most Confederation vessels, but it was fast and well-equipped. "Captain, we're picking up a distress signal," said Lisa Chen, his communications officer. "Source?" Daniel asked. "It's coming from the Vexari colony on Proxima Ia. They're under attack." Daniel frowned. The Vexari were insect-like aliens who had been more welcoming to humans than most species. Their colony was in a remote area of space. "What kind of attack?" he asked. "They say it's the scourge," Lisa replied, her voice serious. Everyone on the bridge went quiet. The scourge was a mysterious threat that attacked outer colonies. The Confederation described them as non-sentient space organisms, like cosmic predators. They destroyed everything in their path. "How far are we from Proxima?" Daniel asked his navigation officer. "About 6 hours at maximum speed." Daniel thought quickly. "And the nearest Confederation defense fleet?" "At least 2 days away, sir." Daniel made his decision. "Set course for Proxima II, maximum speed." His second-in-command, Alan Foster, spoke quietly. "Sir, we have direct orders not to engage in Confederation conflicts without approval." "I know," Daniel said, "but those people need help now. We can't wait for approval." He opened a channel to Nexus Station. "This is Captain Hayes of the Horizon. We've received a distress call from Proxima II and are moving to assist. Please inform Earth Command and the Confederation Council of our actions." Before anyone could order him to stop, he closed the channel. "They won't be happy about this," Alan said. "Probably not," Daniel agreed. "But it's the right thing to do." 6 hours later, they arrived at Proxima II. The sight was terrifying. Dark shapes moved around the planet, attacking the colony's outer defenses. They looked like giant shadows with long tentacles. "The scourge," Lisa whispered. "Scan them," Daniel ordered. "I want to know what we're fighting." The scans showed strange results. The scourge weren't fully physical. They existed partly in normal space and partly in some other dimension. This made them hard to hit. "No wonder the Confederation has trouble fighting them," Alan said. Daniel studied the attack pattern. Something about it seemed familiar to him. The way the scourge moved, the timing of their attacks. "They're hunting," he said suddenly. "Sir." Alan looked confused. "Look at their movement pattern. It's not random. They're herding the colonists, cutting off escape routes, working together." Daniel pointed to the screen. "That's a hunting strategy, like wolves or lions on Earth." "You mean they're intelligent?" Lisa asked. "Maybe not the way we are," Daniel said, "but they're not mindless organisms either. They're predators with a plan." Daniel knew what to do. As a human, he understood predator thinking. If they're hunting, we can disrupt their pattern. Here's what we'll do. The Horizon flew directly into the Scourge formation, breaking their hunting circle. Daniel had his crew fire special electromagnetic pulses that seemed to confuse the creatures. On the surface, the Vexari watched in amazement as the small human ship drove off attackers that had defeated larger Confederation ships in the past. The battle lasted 3 hours. The Horizon took damage, and several crew members were injured. But they held their position until the Scourge finally retreated. When it was over, the Vexari colony leader contacted them. "Captain Hayes, you saved our people today. The Confederation said no ships could reach us in time. How did you defeat the Scourge?" "We recognized their hunting pattern," Daniel explained. "We're familiar with predator behavior." The Vexari was quiet for a moment. "Because you are predators yourselves." "Yes," Daniel admitted. "Sometimes it takes a predator to stop another predator." When the Confederation fleet finally arrived 2 days later, they found the human ship damaged, but still guarding the colony. The Vexari refused to let Confederation officials speak to Captain Hayes without their representatives present. For the first time, humans had real allies in the galaxy. The great meeting hall on Nexus Station was packed with representatives from all 17 Confederation species. The emergency summit had been called after news of the Horizon's battle with the Scourge spread across the galaxy. At the center of the room stood Ambassador Samantha Kelly. Next to her were Dr. Elaine Cooper and Captain Daniel Hayes, who had been brought back from Proxima I for this meeting. "We are here today," began High Counselor Merlot, "to discuss the human situation." "You mean the human problem," said a casual representative. "They disobeyed direct orders and interfered in Confederation matters." "They saved our colony," countered the Vexari ambassador, his wing cases clicking with emotion. "When your ships were too far away, the humans came." Samantha stepped forward. We didn't come here to argue about Captain Hayes' actions. We came to talk about something much more important. She nodded to Dr. Cooper. Elaine activated a data device. Images appeared on the large screens around the room. These are files from your own restricted archives. They detail the extinction of a species called the Revix. Shocked murmurs spread through the hall. Many of the younger representatives had never heard of the Revix. The Revix were a predator species like humans, Elaine continued, and the Confederation decided they were too dangerous to exist. You created a virus that killed them all. That was centuries ago, protested Ambassador Kazil. Different times, different leaders. But the same protocol is still active, Elaine said, showing another file. Protocol Shepherd's Watch, a plan for containing and, if necessary, eliminating species like us. The room erupted in noise. Some delegates shouted denials. Others demanded explanations from the council. High Counselor Merlot raised his six-fingered hands for silence. These are serious accusations, but even if such a protocol exists, it does not mean we intend to use it against humans. Then why keep it secret? Samantha asked. Why classify humans as apex predators and Earth as a death world without telling us? More murmurs filled the room. Many delegates seemed surprised that the humans knew about these classifications. Captain Hayes stepped forward next. While you've been debating whether to trust us, a real threat has been growing. The scourge is not what you think it is. He showed data from the Horizons battle. These attacks aren't random. They follow hunting patterns. The scourge is organized, possibly intelligent, and definitely getting more aggressive. He displayed a map of scourge attacks over the past 50 years. Look at the pattern. They're not just hitting random targets. They're systematically testing defenses, learning, adapting. The room grew quiet as the delegates studied the pattern. If Captain Hayes is correct, said the Vexari ambassador, then the Confederation has been prey all this time without realizing it. Exactly, Hayes said. You've been thinking like prey animals, focusing on running and hiding. But sometimes, to stop a predator, you need to think like one. Ambassador Kelly spoke again. We understand your fear of us. Humans can be dangerous, yes. But we're not your enemy. We could be your best defense against the real threat that's coming. Dr. Cooper added, the choice is simple. Continue with Protocol Shepherd's Watch and try to contain or eliminate us, or work with us to face what's coming. The hall was silent for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, Ambassador Kazil spoke. I was wrong about humans, he admitted. I saw only the danger, not the potential. If the scourge is what Captain Hayes believes, we need predator thinking to fight it. High Counselor Merlot looked around the room. This will require a vote from all member species. Do we continue to fear humans, or do we partner with them? One by one, the representatives began to indicate their positions. The future of human-alien relations hung in the balance. Meanwhile, far beyond Confederation space, more dark shapes were gathering. The scourge was moving again, and this time, they were coming in much larger numbers. 1 year had passed since the emergency summit. Nexus Station looked very different now. Humans walked freely among aliens, no longer kept at a distance. In fact, many areas had been redesigned with mixed species in mind. Ambassador Samantha Kelly stood at the large viewing window of the command center. Beside her was Representative Elaxis of the Moor, now one of her closest allies. The new defense fleet looks impressive, Elaxis said, pointing to the ships outside. Samantha nodded. 17 ships, one built by each Confederation species, plus Earth, all working together. The ships were practicing formation flying. At the center was the largest vessel, named Unity, built with both human and alien technology. Did you ever imagine this would happen? Elaxis asked. After how things began between us. Honestly. No, Samantha admitted. I thought we would always be outsiders. Captain Daniel Hayes entered the room. He now served as the human commander of the Joint Defense Fleet. Ambassador Kelly, the training exercise is going well, he reported. The Vexeri and human crews work especially well together. And the new early warning system? Samantha asked. Active across all outer colonies, Hayes said. Dr. Cooper's idea to use predator tracking methods was brilliant. We can now predict scourge movements with 89% accuracy. Dr. Elaine Cooper had become the head of a new research team focused on understanding the scourge. Half the team were human predator behavior experts. The other half were alien scientists who specialized in space phenomena. The council is ready for you, an aide announced. Samantha nodded and walked with Hayes to the council chamber. The Galactic Security Council had changed too. It now included 3 human members, as well as representatives from species that had previously been excluded. High Counselor Merlot, still leading the council, began the meeting. 1 year ago, we faced a choice: to continue fearing humans or to embrace their different nature. Today, we see the results of our choice. Images appeared on screens around the room. Humans teaching defense tactics to alien security forces, alien scientists working with human doctors to develop new medicines, joint colonies being established on planets previously thought too dangerous for settlement. The scourge has not been eliminated, Merlot continued, but for the first time in centuries, they are retreating. Our combined fleets have protected every colony attacked in the past 6 months. After the meeting, Samantha returned to the viewing window with Elaxis. There's still much work to do, she said. Some species remain wary of us. Change takes time, Elaxis replied. For thousands of years, the Confederation species evolved thinking that predator traits were dangerous. Now we are learning that these traits, courage, initiative, the willingness to take risks, can be valuable. And we're learning from you too, Samantha said. Humans have always struggled with cooperation and long-term planning. Your consensus building and conservation ethics are helping us become better. A small casual child walked by with a human boy. They were playing some kind of game, running and laughing together. Once, such a scene would have been unthinkable, a prey species child comfortable around a human child. You were right to fear us, Samantha said quietly to Elaxis. Any predator should be respected, even feared a little. Perhaps, Elaxis agreed. But we forgot that even on your Earth, predators don't just kill. They also maintain balance. At that moment, an alert sounded. A new scourge swarm had been detected at the edge of Confederation space, the largest ever recorded. Will we be ready? Elaxis asked, suddenly worried. Samantha watched as the defense fleet moved into formation, ships from all species working as one. Human tactical officers served on alien vessels, while alien technical experts worked on human ships. Yes, she said confidently. We'll be ready. The terrifying truth about humans had indeed shaken the galaxy. But instead of bringing destruction, it had created something new. A galaxy where both predator and prey species worked together, each bringing their unique strengths to face a common threat. As the defense fleet jumped to light speed, Samantha knew that whatever came next, none of them would face it alone.